The truth! You can't handle the truth!
The Watchers on the Moon. They are not aliens. They are us, and they have been watching for a very long time. Consider the moon. It hangs in the sky with the same face turned toward Earth. Always. Perfectly. Without exception. Every culture in human history has looked up and seen the same craters, the same dark plains, the same ancient and unmarked expression. Science calls this tidal locking and moves on. But tidal locking is a mechanical explanation for a geometric fact that is almost too perfect to be accidental. The moon does not rotate in any meaningful observable sense. It simply watches. And perhaps that is precisely what it was designed to do. The structures that have been reported on the lunar surface, anomalies in old NASA photographs, shapes that carry the unmistakable geometry of intention, have always raised an uncomfortable question. If aliens built them, why would they look like anything a human mind would recognize as constructed? The answer, when you sit with it long enough, is quietly devastating. They look human because they were built by humans. Not us exactly, but our descendants. People who looked back across the long corridor of time and chose the moon as their watchtower, a fixed, stable platform from which to observe the species they came from in the era when everything went wrong. They did not come from another world. They came from the end of ours, back through time to watch the moment the thread began to unravel. Time travel, if it is possible at all, can only run in one direction with any navigational logic: backward. The future is uncharted territory. The past is a map. Every coordinate is known, every moment already fixed. Future humans, facing whatever catastrophe finally broke their world, would have had both the motive and the destination. They came back. They built their observation post on the most visible, most stable object in the Earth-Moon system, and they have been watching ever since. But watching is not the same as fixing. And here, the theory takes on its most haunting dimension. Every time travelers reach back and nudge an event, adjust an outcome, whisper into the ear of history, they do not repair the original timeline. They branch it. A new version of events begins running forward from that intervention, obligated by the iron logic of causality to follow itself all the way to its own natural end. The original timeline continues. The corrected one continues. Every attempt at repair creates another thread, another world quietly running its course to conclusion. The Mandela effect is not mass false memory. It is the seam work showing through, the places where people remember a world that was edited out from under them. In December of 2012, a message surfaced, attributed to researchers at CERN, a statement of apology for having destroyed the Earth. It was dismissed as a joke. But in a framework where timelines branch and bleed into one another, a message from a version of 2012 where the experiment actually went catastrophically wrong is not a joke. It is a transmission. And it arrived in the same year the Mayan calendar closed its great cycle, not predicting the end of the world, but marking the end of an age. A hinge point. A moment when one version of reality shades into another, and not everyone makes the crossing cleanly. We may have crossed into a different timeline in 2012 without knowing it. The world that came after feels different to enough people that the observation is almost commonplace now. Something shifted. The future humans on the moon watched it happen. They have watched every version happen. They know how each branch ends because they have seen the endings from a future where all those endings are recorded history. They are not here to save us. If saving were possible, they would have managed it by now. They are here because every timeline must run to its natural conclusion, and someone decided that no version of humanity should end unwitnessed and unremembered. The same face of the moon looks down at every version of Earth, across every branching thread of what we might have been. Patient, silent, keeping the record. We look up and see craters and shadows and ancient rock. They look down and see everything we are still in the process of becoming, and everything we keep failing to avoid.
Attention passengers, we've now reached our destination. We hope you enjoyed the flight and have a nice day.